Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Good evening. We were discussing about Katha Upanishad. We had not yet started the discussion proper of Katha Upanishad. But before that, we were discussing about various things, to begin with various statements about death and also about Vedas, Purusharthas, the Varna system, the Ashrama system, Puranas, all these fundamentals which are necessary before you venture into the study of any Indian scripture. Today, before coming here, I was just thinking that it has been some classes now and it's human tendency to forget things. So before we venture into new topics, I would like that you refresh my memory regarding what we studied. So, considering myself ignorant fool I am, you can brush up my memory. I will just ask you some very innocent and simple questions and you can give the answers from your expertise. For example, can anyone enlighten me on what is Veda? What is the meaning of the term Veda? Anyone? Please.
It's the knowledge of the realization of many saints over various times. Knowledge is revealed.
You?
Veda comes from the word Vid, which means knowledge.
What else does it mean?
It means four things for me.
Yes.
Knowledge, realization, discussion or debate,
Vidgyane, labhe, sattayam, existence, attainment, knowledge and vicharane. Okay. So, please from the women's side, nobody is even looking at me. Please. Now I am asking you. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, I am asking you, can you tell me what is the meaning of the word Vyasa? Veda Vyasa. What is the meaning of the word Vyasa? Anybody else, please? Cheppandi. Vyasa.
says compiler.
Compiler is one meaning. Any other meaning? Yes, you? Can you enlighten us? You? No. The person who is sitting just... No. Just back to you. Can you tell me what is Vyasa? Yes, you. You, yeah. Okay. Last time we discussed that. Anybody else? Professor? Vyasa? Not Veda Vyasa. The term Vyasa. Vyasa means a person who... There are many meanings of the word Vyasa. As I told you, it also means the diameter of a circle. Vyasa is a person who compiles or the very act of compilation. It also means explanation, discussion, classification. Okay? Okay. Can anyone in short tell me the story of the genesis of Shukla Yajurveda? How Shukla Yajurveda came? into existence? Nobody? That was a very, I think, I thought, Cheppandi, no, Cheppandi? No, I thought that was an interesting story. And one person has gone into Samadhi. Yeah, please come down from Samadhi. Thank you very much. So, yes, what is this?
He was supposed to attend a meeting of the Union of Rishis.
Yeah.
And he could not because his father's Shraddha was there.
Okay.
So he had to do penances. And 1 week of that. His sin was that of killing a Brahma Hatya for 1 week.
Okay.
So he wanted his disciples to do that.
Yes.
Yagyavaka said he could do it alone. So he got offended and he thought that Yagyavaka was very proud. So he wanted him to give back his knowledge. So he vomited it out.
And the thing what he vomited out, because it came out in the form of black, form of flesh, and it was eaten by patrids or titira, it is called Krishna Yajurveda. And then Vyasa went to sun god Surya Bhagavan and learnt Yajurveda afresh, and that is why it is called Shukla Yajurveda. Are we clear on this? Please remember, the very idea of having such stories is that you are able to remember the dry aspects of philosophy. So that is why they introduce some masala in philosophy. Now, can anybody tell me one definition of death as we found in the scriptures? Anyone please? Death. What is death? Yes? You are being too silent. Something from this side? Please tell me, what is death? So I find that there is some serious problem with the hard disk of these people. You know, in various programming languages there is a command called commit. So if you don't use that command commit, then particularly in Clipper, then nothing is committed, everything is wiped off. So I think please commit. So save. Yes. What is death? No. Oh, wonderful. Okay. So, can anybody tell me? Yes, there is no sound from that side. So please add some volume. Can you tell me what is Dirgha Swarita? আজকে আমি সবাইকে ধরছি প্রশ্ন করছি হোয়াট ইজ দ্য মিনিং অফ দীর্ঘ স্বরিতা আচ্ছা এখানে সামনের দিকে একটু এইদিকে তাকান প্লিজ দীর্ঘ স্বরিতা yes can you tell all smiles no answer yeah so can anybody enlighten me what are the 4 purusharthas এটা তো বলো 4 purusharthas yeah please sit down oh fine wonderful then what are the 4 vedas this yes you it's very simple rig Atharvaved. Why are Vedas called Trayi? Yes, Professor.
Trayi is called because 3 Vedas read some Yajurveda or Atharva, and then the other one was the
No. You are telling exactly the wrong misconception which is there. Trayi it is called because there are 3 kinds of texts in the Vedas. In all the 4 Vedas, there are 3 kinds of texts. One is what is called as Rig, that is basically formula or prayer, and the other is Yajush, which is prose. One is poetry, prose, and the other one is song, Sama, Gita. That is why it is called. Focus. So then, what is the meaning of Vajasaneyi? No, which is brought out of sun. Vajasaneya means sun. What is the meaning of Vaja? Vaja means horse. One who controls the horse is called Vajas. Can you tell me what is Aranyaka? See, so many people are answering no side, nothing from that side. What is Aranyaka? Huh? Aranyaka. Yes, I am asking you. No. Aranyaka means? Okay. So please, part of the
that talks about the
philosophy.
knowledge part.
Yes, exactly. Philosophy, where Upanishads are contained. So please focus. A little more participation will help. Otherwise, it is very demoralizing. So, can't retain. So please use that save button. You know. So there is a small anecdote. I don't know whether it is a true anecdote or not, but it happened. It seems, at least the person who told me told with a lot of conviction. So once Krishna and Jesus, they went to give an examination. And what happened was, it was a examination which has to be given, using computers. So Krishna, the playful sort, so he did whatever he had to do in 5 minutes, and he was going on bothering others, not allowing others to write their examination, and it went on and on. Then Jesus was doing it in a very slow and steady pace with his silent way he was doing. At the end towards the end of the examination, there was a power cut. So then finally Krishna became very unsettled because there was only 10 minutes left and he had to do a lot of work. But Jesus was, as is usual, slow and steady. And he became first in the examination. Do you know why? Can any one of you tell me why? No. It's very simple. All of us know this. Can anyone tell me why? Because Jesus saves. So Krishna did not save. So please save whatever we discuss here. Please save. Otherwise, we will not be heading anywhere. We need to increase our hard disk saving thing, not read-only memory, not RAM or ROM. Now, can any one of you tell me what is the ordinary type of chanting called? Samhita Pata. One thing I will do you is, I will send a mail to Professor Mandal. These two, till now whatever we have discussed are there in 2 files, Katha Upanishad 1 and Katha Upanishad 2. I will send that. So you can probably take printouts and circulate. So everyone will have a handout. Or you can have it in your electronic that will be much better to see, because I saw in printout somehow with the images it doesn't come well. So you can see it on a computer itself. Now today, from now on, whenever we will meet, we will first chant the Shanti mantra, which is supposed to be chanted before studying Katha Upanishad. As I told you earlier, every Veda has got a specific Shanti mantra, and this Shanti mantra has to be chanted. What are Shanti mantras? These are mantras which are recited. In English they are called peace chants. They are recited to ensure peace at 3 levels. Adi, Atmika, that is at the individual level, both body and mind and other things. Adi, Bhautika, at the level of other living beings, so that you are attending this class and the person sitting next to you should not disturb you, or the person should not call over mobile phone as somebody is trying to call me. So these kind of Shanti should not be, this should not be there, different disturbances. That is one thing. And the third is Adi Daivika. Suppose there is one Indra sitting in his Indra world, and he feels that these people are studying so much of psychology and Indian scriptures, and suddenly they may go to the position of Indra. So being afraid of this woman here, he may try to produce obstacles in terms of putting her into sleep and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of thing also should not happen. These are 3 Shantis. This is the traditional version. Do you know the modern version? You don't know modern version? Okay, traditional version itself we didn't know. How can we know modern version? Obvious. So there is another modern version also is there. First you do these 3 Shantis. Then you have another Shanti which is called mobile Shanti. You put all your mobile phones in a silent mode. So that you need to do. Otherwise, what will happen is when you are studying suddenly, so there are different kinds of musics. And one gentleman who works in our ashrama, we have a very small room in which there are about 7 departments working together. It's like a fish mart where I am supposed to edit Prabhupada Bharata. So that is how we work, to give you an idea, which you call resource constrained environment. So we work in that environment. And a person sitting just next to me who looks after, he is an employee, not a monk, who looks after accounts. He has got a ringtone which is very loud and the volume also is very high. So I have told him n number of times to make it, and always he gives me a stock reply. He says that while I come over in bus, I don't listen. So I am not able to hear. So I said, okay, when you come down, get down from bus, you reduce it. It doesn't happen. So you have different kinds of mobile tunes. So this 4th Shanti is mobile Shanti, you put it on silent mode. Now we will chant this Shanti mantra. Before we do that, we will go to the meaning of the word Upanishad. Upanishad. In his introduction to his commentary on the Katha Upanishad, Shankaracharya defines the word Upanishad. This word Upanishad has got 2 meanings. One is its primary meaning and the other one is its secondary meaning. Upanishad, the word, is a compound word, as many words in Sanskrit are, taken from the root shad, and it has got many meanings, but primarily 2 meanings. One is the primary meaning and second one is the secondary meaning. So the primary meaning of Upanishad is Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya. Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya. Vidya in this case does not mean the name of any person. It means knowledge. What does it mean? Knowledge. So Atma Vidya means self-knowledge, knowledge about one's own true self. You may ask, why should one have knowledge about one's own true self? I have my voter identity card. I know who am I. Name, sex, gender, that is gender, age, location, father's name, etc. This is the what? Identity. This is the knowledge of self. What more knowledge do you want? Is it not? Fairly clear. And nowadays I have got my web page and email ID also. So you can at www.com. So why do you want any other identity? So this identity is an identity which can change. A changing, ephemeral, transitory identity. But there is an identity which does not change. Okay, which does not change. That identity is what is called your true self according to the Indian tradition. It is called your true self. There are various names. Some say it is Brahman, some say it is Atman or whatever. But to understand your true self is in general the aim, the objective, the goal of Vedanta. Are we clear on this? Yes. It is the objective of Vedanta. Vedasya anta means the last part of Vedas or the culmination of Vedas or the last word, the final message of Vedas. So, the primary meaning of Upanishads is Brahma Vidya, self-knowledge. How does this self-knowledge come? You go to a teacher and you ask him to give you knowledge. So, before that you should be qualified. We will come to that later. You go to the teacher and ask for knowledge. And the teacher says, Tat Tvam Asi. Tat means you. Tat means that. Tvam means you. And Asi means are. You are that. Very cryptic, esoteric kind of. What happened to those people? They have not come. They had answers for all questions. No? So somehow they were discouraged from giving answers. I hope I have not annoyed them and put them off. So we need at least some vocal support. So Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. It is very cryptic. But the disciple ponders over this and then finally understands, Aham Brahma Asmi. I am Brahman. So I have already referred to an incident which occurs in the Upanishads and also in the Puranas. Brahma, the person with four heads, the creator, he was approached by Indra and Virochana. Virochana is supposed to lead demons and Indra is supposed to lead gods. Always you have this dichotomy of God and demons, like opposition ruling party. So this person was approached by these two people and they asked, what is our true nature? And Brahma told, go and reflect on water, your image on the water, your reflection on water. And Indra, Virochana did and saw how nice I look, though he looks very awful, but he thought that I look very beautiful. And he said that, okay, this is what I am this body. And he had no more doubts and he said, he was convinced. Indra went, he also reflected, he thought I am the body. Then he thought, how can that be? Because I suddenly fall ill or something happens, my body has different vikara, modifications. So at the age of 10, I wanted to have beard. I used to watch generally, boys. So they watch their fathers doing shaving and then they also go and when nobody is watching around, they also try to shave because they want the beard. And once beard is in place, you are annoyed of that because you have to shave daily. So that is also, so many changes happen in your body. So you know that body is not permanent. And finally you have to go to electrical crematorium. So you know that it is not permanent. So what is permanent? So this cannot be your true nature. So what is permanent? Then again Indra went to Brahma, asked him, no, this cannot be my true nature. What is my true nature? Then again Brahma said, go back to the same pond and reflect. Then he reflected, he thought, oh, prana is my true nature because I have this vital breath. That breath is my true nature. Then he thought, no, that is also not my true nature. Then he thought, is mind my true nature? So in the morning, most of the husbands, if they get a good breakfast, they go to office with a good mood. If the breakfast is bad, their mood is spoiled. So there are a lot of modifications in mind also, on the mental plane also. So that is also not the true nature. Like that eventually, Indra came to know that Brahman is his true nature. So, Tat Tvam Asi is the teaching you get from the teacher and Aham Brahmasmi is the knowledge which you obtain. But from this time to that time where you attain the knowledge, there is a process which is called in Vedanta Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Shravana is when you hear, Manana is you contemplate, and Nididhyasana is you can consider it a kind of meditation where you become one with the thought. So that kind of meditation produces a thought in your mind, in your inner self, which is called in Sanskrit Antah Karana. Antah means inner self, Antah Karana. So in your inner self, impression is formed. So you go to KC Das, purchase Rasagulla. If it is hot, it is very good to eat. So you purchase Rasagulla and eat. So you have this impression that Rasagulla is very sweet. The next moment you see, next time you see Rasagulla, automatically you feel that it is sweet because you already taken it. And if it is KC Das, you know this is the kind of taste I will get. So there is already an impression formed in your mind which you recollect. So when you go to watch a movie, you see the performance of a particular actor and you know, okay, this fellow will act very nice. DiCaprio is a wonderful actor. So next time you watch this movie, you are there with an expectation that yes, you will see something wonderful. So that is a vritti, a mental modification. Vritti means what? Mental modification. In your mind, a mental modification has formed, an impression has formed, and you know that next time you should not attend this class because it is awfully boring. So that kind of impression you have formed. Now that impression will again create what you call samskara. That is what is impression. It will create a impression, and this impression in turn will make you do a particular kind of action. Suppose somebody has slapped you, next time you will be very careful to talk to that person, or you will also try to slap that person. So this is called vritti. Is it clear? So what is a vritti? Mental modification. So, and that leads to samskara, which is a mental impression on the mind. According to Indian philosophy, mind does not die with the body. Please remember this. And mind is not brain. Western thought says that mind, brain both are same. But Indian thought says mind is not brain. So when a person is dead, when that person takes another birth, which is the belief of Indian thought, this mind goes there also. And the sanskaras are taken. So if a person is coming to IIT, next time if he takes birth, he may not come to IIT because he has understood that IIT is so boring. Or if he has got so much of samskara, he may come back again to IIT. It can happen both ways. You have the example of Jada Bharata, who was meditating on the deer, and in the next birth he became a deer himself. So this is what happens. So mind is not part of the physical body. It is what is called as sukshma sharira. Sharira means body, sukshma means subtle. So there is subtle body which is carried over and over across births and deaths. And when does this body go away? When you lose your sense of doership. When you lose the sense of I am doing this. I am, that is called in Sanskrit kartritva bodha. Now when the teacher tells you tattvamasi, immediately a vritti is formed in terms of the knowledge of tattvamasi. You are that. And based on that mental modification, you start contemplating. It is like the proof of a theorem. You know that this is what is the hypothesis, or this is what has to be proved. And then you start your mathematical steps. And finally you prove it. So this Shravana is what tells you that this is what has to be proved. And Manana and Nididhyasana are the steps which lead you to the proof itself. And what is the proof? Jiva, Brahma, Aikya, Jnana. The knowledge of the identity of Jiva and Brahma. The knowledge of the identity of the small self and the big self is what is called Brahma Jnana, knowledge of Brahman, Atma Jnana, self-knowledge, and that happens through this process of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Now when this mental modification of Tattvamasi comes, that is just a vritti of Shravana, that is just a vritti which has come because you have listened something. But when the person actually realizes the truth, the oneness or the unity of Jiva and Brahman, then what is formed? Brahmakara vritti. Brahma akara vritti. A vritti, a mental modification which is in the nature of Brahman. It is not Brahman. Why? Because Brahman does not come from anywhere. It is already there. It is always there. The classic example which is given is that of cloud and sun. So sun is already there. Dark clouds come and suddenly at 12 o'clock noon you find that it is all dark. You have to switch on the tube light. So when the cloud goes away, you have the light. So similarly, Brahman or the knowledge of the self is already there. But what has come and clouded it? Ignorance. Ignorance. It is like a person forgetting his own name, his or her own name. In amnesia, you say, "Main kahan hoon? Main kaun hoon? Who am I?" Suddenly, this happens more in feature films. So suddenly you ask, "Who am I?" Then there is a whole romance story going on and suddenly that person forgets that and another somebody comes. So this happens for amnesia patients. Similarly, we are all suffering from what? Amnesia. We have all forgot our true nature. And we are thinking that I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to purchase so much cosmetics and make my face look beautiful, fair and lovely. Because you think this body is very lovely. But if we just cut little, it will give so much of stench that nobody can stay there. So that is what lovely is all about. So in a text called Prabodha Sudhakara, Shankaracharya says that do not take pride of your body. Why? Because as they say beauty is only skin deep. Why? He says because of the skin you look so beautiful. If there were no skin, all crows will be pecking on you. Full of crows. In Kolkata you have crows. It is the international headquarters of crows. Everywhere crows. So whenever we in the ashrama take tea, there are about 10 crows sitting and they have a different call. They say caw, caw, means give me the tea. Before you take, I will take. So these are the crows sitting there. So Kolkata is like Krokata. So you have crows. So now these crows will peck you at your flesh if there was not this skin. So don't be so proud of your beauty. What is the real beauty? That you are Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. That your true nature is existence, consciousness, bliss. But do we understand that? How can we understand that? I am calling my girlfriend and she doesn't reply. So how can I understand that Sat Chit Ananda? I am always in dukkha, suffering. So this suffering is brought out by the ignorance of your true nature. Because you don't understand what is your true nature, you are, because of ignorance, the classical confusion of taking the unreal for the real. You think that what is unreal is real. Bank balance will go away in no time. If suddenly there is a recession in USA, what will happen? Dollar will become 70 rupees. Then what will happen? You have so much of money, nothing, no use. Or if the gas price already gone up, 700 rupees, what will you do? Simply purchase 2 gas cylinder, wash that cylinder and don't eat anything. So, what can you do? Money has no value. But what you have is that your true inner self, and that is the real beauty, real Saundarya. We should understand that. And when will you understand that? When this Brahmakara vritti is formed inside you, and the cloud of ignorance is removed, then Atman or the knowledge of Atman is Swata Pramana. What is Swata Pramana? Swata means self, Pramana means evidence. So self-evident. It is evident. You don't need anybody else to come. Just like sun is self-evident. You cannot remove the sun. It is always there. What you can do is only put cloud over the sun. Similarly, the knowledge of self is already there, but we have clouded it by thinking, I am so and so MTech PhD from IIT. And then I teach and I am such a wonderful scholar, etc. All these kinds of what are called, these are called upadhi, qualifications or superimpositions. Like in a dark room, when you see a rope, you consider it to be a snake. If any of you don't believe this classical example, please try. But you should not be told. Some friend, they can try this on you unknowingly. And nowadays those what you call plastic snakes are available. It always works. So you just put it on the below the cot or somewhere like that, and the moment you see in darkness, you will be shocked. You think that it is what? Snake. But it is not snake. So similarly, this is what happens because of ignorance. We consider ourselves as the body and the mind, and that is why all problem takes place. So this Brahmakara Vritti, what does it do? Why am I telling you all these things? Brahmakara Vritti does not bring the knowledge of Brahman. Please understand this. Knowledge of Brahman cannot be brought, it is already there. Brahmakara Vritti simply removes the cloud of ignorance. It simply removes the ignorance. So a room is there, it is so nicely painted, everything, but when you enter the room, you see that it is all dark. Why? Because there are so many cobwebs. There are what? Cobwebs. Cobwebs, and the room has not been cleaned for probably centuries. So all you do is you clean the room and you remove the cobwebs, and then the beauty of the room comes out. Like our Ochterlony monument. They wanted to paint it and scraped and found that the dome was bronze. These people did not know. So I told one of the employees of Ashrama, you please take this thing, chisel, and go all over Kolkata and try scraping all buildings. Suddenly you may find gold also. We don't know. Now we are finding so much gold in Padmanabha Swami temple and all these places. So this bronze of Ochterlony monument was hidden. And all these years they were doing whitewash over and above. Suddenly one sincere person like me, at least you will not tell, I can myself tell about me. So sincere person like me went and scraped the whole thing and saw bronze. Then say, oh wonderful, now they have kept the bronze there. Till somebody will steal it. Because we are in a country where even Nobel prizes are stolen away. So bronze, suddenly you see there is no dome at all. They have taken away the whole dome. Now that is what is done by Brahmakara Vritti. It removes the covering. It removes the avarana, that is the Sanskrit word, avarana, in the form of ignorance. It removes it and brings out the brilliance of the knowledge of self. Now this is the first meaning of, primary meaning of the word. It's a nice tranquilizer. What is this? The first primary meaning of the word Upanishad is what? Brahmagyana, Atma Vidya, self-knowledge. Okay. Now, this word has got a secondary meaning also. So when I say primary, automatically there should be some secondary. Primary school, secondary school, then there is a higher secondary school. Here only primary and secondary, no higher secondary. So what is primary? Brahmagyana. What is secondary? The text of the Upanishad is the secondary meaning. What is the secondary meaning? Text of the Upanishad. For example, when I say Katha Upanishad, there is a particular text of that Upanishad. That is the secondary meaning. When I say we will study Upanishad, please don't think that we will immediately get Brahmagyana. That is not what is meant. We are going to study the text of Katha Upanishad. So the word Upanishad has two meanings. Primary meaning is knowledge of the self, Brahmagyana, and secondary meaning is the text itself, the book itself, the Grantha. In Sanskrit it is called Grantha. So that. Why it is called Grantha? Because it is interwoven. See, Grantha means knot. So when we say ignorance, there is another word, another concept, Chit Jada Granthi. The knot, or in Bengali there is a wonderful term for this, Jot Pakano. So whole thing is confused. So the knot knotting between the conscious and the non-conscious, the spiritual and the material, the real and the unreal. You get everything confused. Jotpaki deva. You have totally meddled up, messed up the whole thing. Somebody has just talked to you for a few minutes very lovingly. You thought that person likes you and you are going to propose for marriage. It happens very commonly. So that is told, whole thing has been confused. So what has happened as a result? Nobody nowadays dares to talk to a person properly. They are all afraid. It may give wrong signals. So that is why don't do it. Keep a fair distance, reasonable distance. So that is called Chit Jada Granthi. You consider this body as your own self and you say that I am so beautiful, I am this thing, that thing. A person lost car. It cost $10,000 and this person went on for 6 months. I lost my car, I lost my car. I said, keep quiet. It's only a car, for God's sake. And your salary is much more than that. Why do you make such a big fuss of it? And for all you know, that is good for American economy that you have lost a car. You can purchase another car. And your car probably was anyway to have to be disposed. So this is what we are all so much concerned with our bank balance, with our qualification, with what dress I wear, but we are totally not concerned about the quality of my mind. We are exposed to so many things. I see bad movies, I see bad literature, hear bad words, speak bad words and listen to bad music. No rhythm, nothing, and all kinds of pollution comes into me, but I am not bothered. See, you are bothered only about the externals, not the internals. So we should be bothered about internals, about the manifestation of my true self, which is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. So the word Upanishad has two parts, and each part has a different function. It has got two parts and each part has a different function. What is the part? Two parts. First part is Upani. If you break the word into two, Upanishad. Another thing, the actual spelling of the word is U-P-A-N-I-S-H-A-T, not D. It is the actual spelling is S-H-A-T, Upanishad, not Upanishad. Upanishad. But it is used as Upanishad when it comes in Sandhi or Samasa. But generally it is Upanishad with a halanta at the end. You have the halanta. So Upanishad. Now Upani plus Shad. So what is the meaning of the first part, Upani? The first part means knowledge or combination, coming together. Upani means knowledge or coming together. Upa plus Ni. Here also it has got two components. Upa plus Ni. You should understand this very nicely, very thoroughly, because if you understand this, you will understand what is the aim of the word Upanishad or the text of Upanishads. The whole aim of Vedanta is contained in this word Upanishad, and that is why Shankaracharya, before entering into the commentary of Katha Upanishad, he elaborately explains the meaning of the word Upanishad, because it is very crucial to understanding Vedanta or the meaning of Upanishads. Upani means coming together, knowledge, combination. Why does it mean that? Upa plus Ni. Upa plus Ni. Then the second meaning is, the second part is Shat. Shat is, again, it means knowledge. It also means destruction. It means destruction, annihilation, termination. So all of you know Terminator. Don't you know about Terminator? So how many of you have watched all parts of Terminator? No one. All parts. How many parts? 4, eh? 3. So Terminator means what? He will simply terminate. That is the thing. Finally, he is also terminated. So, that is the thing. So, Shat means terminating. But what is terminated here? Not the villain. But what is terminated here is ignorance. Ignorance is terminated here. This Chit Jada Granthi, Granthi means not, K-N-O-T, not N-O-T. K-N-O-T, not, naughty affair. Not N-A-U-G-S-T, naughty affair, but K-N-O-T-T-Y, naughty affair. This naughty affair is terminated. It is put to an end, destructed, destroyed. That is why it is called Shat. Now, what is the meaning of the word Upani? It is not actually the word, but it is a combination of two prefixes, Upa plus Ni, and it means coming together, combining. It is a metaphorical statement. Why it is a metaphorical statement? Because Jivatma and Paramatma are one always. There is no difference. There is no difference between Paramatma and Jivatma. There is no difference between Atman and Brahman. But for the sake of lesser mortals like us, for sake of understanding, here the Shastra says Jivatma, Paramatma are coming together. Why? The ignorance is going away. So it appears as though they are coming together, and that is why it is called Upani. Coming together always means communication. When you communicate with somebody, how do you communicate? You either come together or you send an email. You send an email or you Nokia. You take your mobile phone and make a call, or even better, send a missed call. So there was a wonderful person like me who was keeping on sending missed calls to all the friends, and then called everybody and told, I was the person who sent the missed call. See, the whole point of missed call was lost. So he called everybody and told, ये जो missed call मिला ना वो मैंने भेजा है. So like that, you send missed call, or you send SMS, or you send email, or if you are in a, what you call, intranet, you like in IIT or in MIT, you send a message, you ping. That is what it is called in communication language. A data packet is sent, ping, and there is a pong. Okay. So whenever internet does not work, our internet provider says, ping kore dekhun Maharaj, please do ping and see whether it is pinging. I said, it is pinging, but you are not ponging. So ping. So this is, you come together. You come together, you shake hands, you meet at coffee day, a lot of things can happen over coffee. You do that. And then communication takes place. That is why in the Indian tradition, ancient tradition, even today, if you want to learn classical music, first what you do, you go to the Acharya's house and purchase vegetables, wash clothes, do all these things. Then if the Acharya is happy, he or she may teach you or may not teach you. And only then you learn the whole spirit of the knowledge. So nowadays why we don't lead? Because in most of the premier institutions today, there is something called a knowledge center or something in internet, and they put the PPTs before the class, and all students go through the PPT and come to the class and snore there, because they have already got all the handouts and all that, so nothing happens. Why does not knowledge get saved? Because there is no communication, there is no coming together. Upani does not happen. So Upani happens only when there is a coming together of data packets, of the teacher and student, of the master and disciple, or of the book and the reader, whatever. There should be a coming together. You should be in a theater and not sleep because of the AC, but watch the movie. Then only you can understand what is told in the movie. So this coming together, and from there only Upanayanam has come. Naya means in Sanskrit to lead the way, to show the path. So Upanayanam means the guru and disciple are coming together, and the guru is showing the path. Guru means a person who removes darkness. Guru, the word means a person, dispeller of darkness, remover of darkness. So Upanayanam means by giving this sacred thread. And one more thing I would like to add, In original Vedic system, Upanayanam was there for both men and women. Afterwards, it has been confused and spoiled. And then it was called Maunji Bandhana. The sacred thread was not worn like this as now it is worn, but it was worn around the waist. And it used to signify what? Chastity. That is why it was worn around the waist. And that is what in Western tradition is called as chastity belt. Maunji. It was made out of a grass called munja. That is why the word maunji. Why the munja grass? Because if you start to do something very fishy, it will cut you, your skin. Very sharp grass. Maunji bandhana. And that was there for both women and men. Now what happened afterwards? For women that remained, but it became an ornament. I don't know how many of you are aware. There is a belt kind of ornament for the women, is it not? They wear it across the waist. It's a traditional ornament. What is it called in Bengali? Belter moton pore na eta? So it is prevalent almost in all states in India. That is what it happened for women, and for men it became the sacred. From that position it came here, and this is the changes which took place. But Maunji Bandhana or Upanayana was there for both men and women, and this signified a life of austerity and chastity, where a person will not give importance to the bodily pleasures but to knowledge, and stay in Guru Graha, in the house of the master. So in that way IIT is a wonderful concept, because you all stay here together with your master and you study. So there coming together of the teacher and the taught, coming together, Upani. So as we already saw, you can ask a question. Most of you, none of you have asked, of course. See, this knowledge, how can it combine something? Knowledge is something which is inert. Knowledge is not something dynamic, is it not? Knowledge, even in science we see pure science, it is of no use. Only when it is applied science it is useful, quote unquote. Mental frame. So knowledge as it is, how it can do something, a kriya of bringing together, how it can do. So the answer is, it does not do. Knowledge does not bring together the Paramatma. Why? Because they are already one. It does not bring together anything, but it removes ignorance. Even in the mental field, knowledge does not do anything. What it does is it removes ignorance. So knowledge does not do anything, but it removes ignorance. And that is why the word Shat has been used. The root is Shat, and Shat means destroying, loosening. What is loosened? Chit Jada Granthi, the knot. When you have to open a knot, you have to first loosen it up. You loosen the knot and it is opened. Many times it happens. You do a knot, you tie something, and then you are not able to open it. So you went to some shop, purchased so many things, and you made a good knot so that it will not fall, and you are not able to open. Then finally what you do? You make another hole somewhere else, and from there you take out the things. So here you don't need to do any hole or something. What you can do is you can loosen up the knot, remove the knot. Like magicians do, they make one knot and then do like this, it is opened, and they call it magic. So there is no magic. It is pure practice, spiritual practice, and by knowledge, this Chit Jada Granthi, the knot of the real and the unreal, is removed. So Upanishad, the whole word means combiner, coming together, and also destroyer. First part means coming together, and the second part means destroyer. How? As I already told you, Upanayanam means the coming together of the Guru and the disciple. So there is a popular shloka for this. It is called Upanaye Mama Atmanam Kritva Pashtva advajam punah nihanti avidyam tajjam cha tasman upanishan matah. So you upaniye mamatmanam, you lead myself, you lead me, mama atmanam, you lead me, upaniye mamatmanam. How? You show me the way, you show me the way, nihanti avidyam, and you destroy avidya, ignorance. Nihanti, you kill it. Ni is a prefix used in Sanskrit which can have different meanings. In this case it is nikrishta. Nikrishta means very nicely, like V is used, vishishta, specially, nicely, in a good way, properly, you remove avidyam, tajjam cha tasma, and also what is created out of avidya. Don't remove avidya also, but automatically when you remove avidya, what is created out of it also happens. So most of you who have read fairy tales or seen movies of witches, etc., you will see that this witch would have cast a spell. So would have made somebody turn into a stone. So that person will be standing like that, becoming a stone. And then this witch cannot be killed because the life of the witch will be with a parrot who is somewhere, so many oceans has to be crossed, and there that parrot will be there, and if you remove the heart of the parrot, immediately like magic this witch will die, and that person who has converted into stone will come back to life. So all this confusion of having to attend this IIT, this Katha Upanishad lecture, having to tell this lecture and you are listening, all this confusion will go away immediately when you get Brahmagyana. So at least for this, you should get Brahmagyana. Should not? At least to remove this boring exercise, you should get Brahmagyana. What is the utility? Later on we will see. See, even a fool does not do a work if there is no utility. Prayojanam anudyashya. Without a utility or prayojana, some method, something I should get out of this. What will I get out of this? So I come and give donation to Ramakrishna mission. What will I get? Okay, ATG exemption you will get. Immediately they will donate. Swamiji, is there a way I can get 100% exemption? Then more donation will come. See, selfless work is very difficult. So you want something in return. Quid pro quo, that is the language. So you want something in return. So prayojanam aniddishya, even murkha will not pravartate. Murkham api na pravartate. Without any expectation or utility, no. So Shastra says it's okay, perfectly alright. Suppose you want sons, you are not understanding. Once they are born, then it's all trouble. Before they are born itself, you should make an admission request to some college or some school. So without understanding, out of your ignorance, you want a son, okay, I will give the putra kameshti yajna. Do the yajna and you will get son. So once you are fed up with all this son business, then you say that, okay, now I will pray to God. Okay, there are so many mantras. Do chant Aditya Hridayam daily morning to sun God. Oh, sun God, how nice you look, etc. Okay, you do that. Then suddenly you become very philosophical because you have got divorce. So all people who get divorce get philosophical. Only for till the next marriage. So once you are very philosophical, okay, there is Upanishad for you. Go to Upanishads. So the scriptures has got solution for every problem. They have got solution for every problem. So that is why it says. Why? Because scripture knows that without any use, you will not come to the scripture. There should be some selling point should be there, USP. So, tajjam, like the witch, when it is killed, the person who was converted into statue also comes out. Similarly, avidyam nihantya, once the ignorance is destroyed, all the confusion which is created out of ignorance, IIT joint entrance examination, big confusion. So all this will go away. You don't need any entrance exam because you already entered. So all this confusion will go away. So then tasman upanishan matah, and that is called Upanishad. This process of coming together And the guru leading the way, master leading the way is called Upanishad. Now this is the primary meaning, and as I told you already, secondary meaning is the text, and that is the final portion of the Vedas, Vedantic scripture. Now in scriptures or in general Sanskrit or in any language, there are two kinds of meanings which you can give to a particular sentence. One is called Vakyartha, the syntactical meaning, and another one is called Lakshyartha, the implied meaning. So I know a person who is continuously from second standard getting zeros in mathematics. So I say, you are such a genius in mathematics. So immediately the meaning of the sentence, you are a genius in mathematics, is that the person is very good in mathematics. But that is not the implied meaning. Implied meaning is you are such a fool that you are getting only eggs. Sunday ho ya Monday, roj khao ande. So you are getting only eggs. So please put one. Sri Ramakrishna said there is no value for zero unless you put one in front of that. So please put at least one, at least 10 marks you get. So similarly, Ganga, the classical example which is given is Gangayam Ghoshah. What does that mean? On Ganga there is a village of milkmen. Ghoshah means village of Gwala, milkmen. So how can somebody have a village on Ganga? Then immediately our today's technology experts will think maybe there is a cruise ship and on that a village is there. No. On Ganga means on the bank of Ganga. That is the implied meaning. Gangayam Gosha means Ganga Tire Gosha. At the bank, on the bank of Ganges. That is the expression in American English. So not Ganga. So Ganga. So Ganga, on the bank of Ganga, there is a village of cowherds. This is the meaning. So similarly, here the meaning is that Upani means it brings together Paramatma and Jivatma. That is the syntactical meaning, literal meaning. But the implied meaning is it removes the ignorance. It removes the ignorance and it destroys samsara. What is samsara? Can any one of you tell me what is samsara? All of us are in samsara. That is one meaning. The cycle of birth and death is called samsara. Anybody else? Samsara comes from the root sri, the same root which is used for snake, sarpa. Sri means motion. Samsara means samsarati iti samsara. Anything which changes, moves is called samsara. So this is constantly moving, changing. It is not the substratum. It is not permanent. It is changing. And whatever changes is not true. It is not real. It cannot be the basis, because if I am moving a vehicle on the road and road also starts changing, what will happen? I will be on the same place. Nothing will happen. So there should be something which is stationary. So sansara is not stationary. It is mobile. So it is called samsara. Now samsara is destroyed. This whole transitoriness, unreality is nice sleep has come. Please don't destroy the sleep. So sansara is destroyed. Some vocal support please. And then this is destroyed by the knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman does not come. The knowledge comes through Brahmakara Vritti, and ignorance is destroyed. And as a janitor comes into a room and removes all the rubbish, and the room becomes as it was originally. Similarly it happens, and that is called Atma Jnana or Brahma Jnana or Atma Vidya, or it is also called Vedanta. Now as far as the text is concerned, as far as the book is concerned, we know that there were 1180 Upanishads. How many? 1180 Upanishads. Don't worry, we will not study all those Upanishads. We have not yet started Katha Upanishad. So you say, oh, 1180. And even if you want to study, it is not available. So then more than 200 Upanishads are available. Then how do you know that this is 1180 Upanishads were there? Because there were some commentators who commented on Upanishads, and in their commentary they refer that there were 1180 Upanishads. That is how we know that there are 1180 Upanishads, out of which more than 200 are there, out of which 108 are given prominence. And that is why Motilal Banarsidas has brought out one book also, 108 Upanishads, only the Sanskrit text, out of which 10 are considered important. Why? Because Shankaracharya wrote a commentary on these 10 Upanishads. This is non-controversial commentary. There is controversial commentary also. Shvetashvatra Upanishad, he wrote a commentary and it is controversial whether Shankaracharya wrote or somebody else wrote, because you see, we all love controversies. If there is no controversy, what will happen to life? So some controversy. Then in Kena Upanishad there are two commentaries. One is in prose form, another one is in verse form. So the prose commentary is again controversial. Some people say it is written by Shankaracharya, but some people who are language experts analyze the language and find out that it does not match with Shankaracharya's language. So whole lot of controversy is there. So 10 Upanishads are considered principal. Now one more question which may come, which you have not asked, is out of 108 Upanishads, what was the criteria of selecting these 10 Upanishads? No. Why Shankaracharya selected those 10 Upanishads? No. Shankaracharya wrote a commentary on the Brahma Sutras, and Brahma Sutras were written by Vedavyasa. So while writing Brahma Sutras, Vedavyasa referred to some Upanishads repeatedly, and those are these 10 Upanishads. And so Shankaracharya thought that if somebody like us were to study Brahma Sutras, if at all that is going to happen, then they would need some clarification on these 10 Upanishads. And that is why Shankaracharya wrote commentary on only these 10 Upanishads. So actually the culprit is not Shankaracharya, Vedavyasa. If you meet him, please nicely beat him, because of him all confusion has been created. So when we were in school, we were all terribly annoyed with Akbar, Aurangzeb, Chandragupta Maurya, because why these people came and we had to study all the history. See, Alexander, they had no work but to do all this kind of nonsense, and you have to study now that Chandragupta Maurya in his time, this was the coin and this was all these things, blah blah blah. So similarly, and Albert Einstein, all kind of people, unnecessary wastage of time. So similarly, if you get this Vedavyasa, please scold him nicely, because he only started the confusion. Now then, it is also thought that Nrisimha Uttara Tapaniya Upanishad, Nrisimha Uttara Tapaniya, here I think there is a spelling mistake. Uttara Tapaniya Upanishad, also there is a commentary by Shankaracharya. It is also controversial. Now we will again go and analyze the word Upanishad. See, Upanishad can be etymologically broken by breaking the sandhi or conjunctions. Upa is one prefix, or prefix is called, and then you have ni, then you have shad, and there is a quip, that is a suffix. So upa is one prefix, ni is one prefix, root word or what is called dhatu in Sanskrit is shad, and there is a suffix or pratyaya which is called quip. Prefix is called upasarga and suffix is called pratyaya in Sanskrit. So quip pratyaya has been added, and this means shad attains a meaning of splitting up, destruction, termination, reaching, going, attaining. It destroys, terminates, splits up the Oh, we were all expecting you. So I thought you got annoyed because you were not asked to, you are not allowed to give answers. So Upanishad means Upa plus Ni plus Shad. And Shad means this splitting up, destroying. Splitting up what? What is split up? What is split up? No. That the Chit Jada Granthi, the knot of Chit, consciousness and non-consciousness, non-conscious, inert and conscious, or spiritual and material. This knot is split up, and destruction of ignorance. And going, what is going? You attain, as though you attain the knowledge of self. Because knowledge of self was always there within you, like gravitational force was always there. One apple created the problem. So now, because of some Upanishad creating problem, you also suddenly become Brahmagyani, and then you can, it is very fruitful and very profitable. Some few days back a devotee was telling, Maharaj, I think I should start this business because there is Sri Ravi Shankar. He charges so many dollars for this course, so many thousands of dollars. Then there is another Swamiji who is doing this. Then our already this Patanjali Ramdev Baba is there. So it is a good profitable business. So I think I can also enter into this venture. Instead of doing all other things, let me get into this. I will also get a halo behind my head, lot of channel space in Asta and Sadhana, and money also. So like that also somebody may think, once you become Brahmagyani you may think that, I don't know. But once you become a Brahmagyani you will not be able to think like that. Okay, so then it brings you out, it injures, it causes damage to the words used by Shankaracharya is seeds of worldly existence. Sansara bija. This is the seed of worldly existence. See this, you are corrupted. You are corrupted by education. So a child of 2 years, nowadays of course they are much more intelligent, maybe little lower. A child of 1 year does not know the difference between sexes. He or she does not know the difference between man and woman. But what we do, we think that we are giving knowledge and confuse the person, give them ignorance. So we say that yes, you see, you have to, even a small child they will ask, who are you going to marry? Right? A child does not know anything. Who are you going to marry? So there was one Swami, in his over enthusiasm in one of our centers long back, about 30-40 years back, this Swami caught hold of a 5-year boy and was giving him a lecture on Brahmacharya. Continence. So another Swami who knew better, he said, "Arey, poor fellow, leave him. He does not know what is non-Brahmacharya." First of all, he does not know what is the opposite of Brahmacharya. So why are you going and giving lecture on continence? He does not know what is incontinence. So like that. So you, in your enthusiasm of giving education, you corrupt the person. You tell that you should have money. You are happy. How can you be happy? You don't have money. So that thinks, oh, I should have ice cream, then only I can be happy. So immediately, education is systematic corruption of a human being. Swamiji gave a definition, education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. That is what education should be. But what is our education? Systematic corruption of human being is education. A child is close to God, and what we do? We remove the person as far as possible from God, and then when the person is in problem, then you say, okay, I know one Swami in that Ramakrishna mission, you please go and meet, and that the Swami says, oh, you should go near God. But to begin with, that was the place where that person was. You see, so that is what happens. You do marriage, you enter into marriage, you marry thinking you will get so much of enjoyment, and finally you understand that the whole cause of suffering is marriage. So the very thing was wrong. So anyway, now that is what? So seeds of worldly existence, These seeds of worldly existence are sown in your consciousness by the society, by the world, by your parents, by teacher. Everybody is systematically poisoning your brain. If you do not have a hair makeup by L'Oreal, you are not real. You need to do. Because pantaloons or whatever, Pantene or somebody is conducting PF of my beauty context, you have to be Miss India. Otherwise you are being missed in India. So you have to be Miss India.
What is that great detail? How do you know? L'Oreal, even I was almost
Because you have to work, go to rural areas and work. You see, I was called a couple of years back to our center in Tamluk. So I was totally shocked. It came as a shock to me that young woman in Tamluk, this falls in I think Medinipur, right? Purva Medinipur. So Tamluk, those people, their monthly salary is 2000 rupees and these women are bothered to color their hair costing 300 rupees. And ordinary saloons in Tamluk have all these L'Oreals. And you know how much money they spend on mobile phone? Again like 300, 400 rupees. They have nothing to eat, but they want this. See what we have come to. So much of exhibitionism. When particularly a girl is born, parents say that, Tumi mein, you are a girl and you should be sajte hobe. You have to appear beautiful. Why should a girl appear beautiful? Does the word woman mean only body? Swami Vivekananda asked this question. Does woman mean only body? No. So that is what it has come to. And there is a advertisement of Mercedes Benz. There is no connection, but there will be a beautiful woman standing behind near Benz. So exhibitionism. So your brain is constantly corrupted and you are, this wrong seed of worldly existence is inserted into your brain. So what happens is, a school teacher told me, she teaches in a government school in Barasat, she said, Maharaj, you have no idea of what educational institutions have come to. A boy and girl studying in 7th class, they ran from school and were trying to marry in a temple. Just imagine, 7th class students trying to marry. One cylinder costs 700 rupees. What will they do if they marry? No practical idea at all. So they want to marry because constantly they have listened. Kyunki kabhi saas bhi bahu thi, television, media. Tere nal what love ho gaya. So all kind of stuff. Always you have to get married, you have to have a boyfriend, you have to have a girlfriend. This is what is poisoning, constant poisoning of the mind. And then leaving studies and leaving a basic means of livelihood, people are trying to get married. So that is what Shankaracharya told centuries ago. He said seeds of worldly existence are there. And what does this jnana, knowledge, do? It removes these seeds. How many of you watched the famous serial of Chanakya? It is going to be re-telecast. Original. So there, when Chandragupta Maurya was young, Chanakya sees that a weed, a tree is growing into a building. Then Chanakya, what does he do? He takes some sugar, some sweet syrup, buttermilk, sweetened buttermilk, and pours it along the tree to its root, and he takes it to an ant hill, and that he says, you see, if you have to remove a weed, you have to remove it from the root. And then ant hill, so all the ants, they religiously come. So if you keep anything in, you see, they have the wonderful communication system in the world. You keep a laddu somewhere in your house and there were no ants, it was perfectly clear, within minutes ants will come. How they communicate, God only knows. G-O-K, God only knows. So they will come and they eat away the whole growth of the tree. And that is a wonderful lesson Chandragupta got. Then he understood, yes, this Nanda empire has to be removed like that. Uproot totally. Swami Vivekananda says, I don't want a surface reform. I want a root and branch reform. I don't want to simply remove child marriage, do something for the child widows. I don't want that. I want to give education. I want to give the basic thing. Similarly, Shankaracharya says, remove the seeds of worldly existence. You have a small car, purchase a big car, again same problem. At least the small car was giving good mileage. And the big car, that for servicing that you will have to go to Kolkata. Maruti anyone can service. Even a person who does not have a proper workshop, roadside fellow also can service Maruti. But if you have Skoda, you have to go to Kolkata and they will give you a huge bill. Maybe 3 months salary. So, you see, you have problems everywhere. The pros and cons. So, what is the problem? The very idea of having the car is the problem. Do away with the car. Whenever you want car, call the travels. It works out cheaper. It works out cheaper. You have no necessity of a driver, nothing. You just call the travels. So, that is what. So, Shankaracharya says, remove the seeds of worldly existence. Ajnana. Remove it by bringing jnana. Bring knowledge, remove it. Sansara bandhana. This has got another meaning. Sansara bandhana means even marriage is called sansara bandhana. So that is also really sansara bandhana. Because the moment you marry, immediately what happens? Girlfriend becomes wife, boyfriend becomes husband. And the whole thing has a different total connotation. It has got a total connotation. People who have experienced firsthand know. I mean, arranged marriage people will not know, but people who have experienced this transition from girlfriend to boyfriend or girlfriend to wife or boyfriend to husband will know it very nicely. The whole thing changes. Suddenly overnight, whole thing changes. So, now that happens. You are into sansara. So, Shankaracharya says that remove this bandhana by coming to Upanishad. Come closer to the Guru. Come closer to the scriptures. Come closer to the ancient wisdom. Or in our modern technological language, come closer to the manual. Open the manual. When in problem, when in trouble, you have troubleshooting guide. Open the troubleshooting guide. Shoot the trouble. See, we have so many troubleshooters. Pranav Mukherjee, considered to be great troubleshooter. They shot him itself. So they said, okay, if he is there, he is such a wonderful person, so make him president. And anyway, I am giving a political statement. Disclaimer also should be given. It has got nothing to do with Ramakrishna mission. So like the troubleshooter, you have troubleshooters in every organizations, in every government. You have troubleshooter everywhere. And we have troubleshooting manuals. You have troubleshooting guides in internet. Microsoft, troubleshooting. Any issues? Troubleshooting. You press this, and you keep on pressing and finally nothing happens. So, my printer is not working. Is there a paper jam? Yes, next. You go on doing, nothing happens. So, like that, troubleshooting. So, you shoot the trouble. You kill the trouble in its very root. Remove ignorance. Now, Shankaracharya says, by what etymological process, by what connection does Upanishad mean knowledge? Knowledge is jnana, Upanishad is coming together and destroying. Both these things are meant in this word. How can this mean knowledge? Then he says, you see, those who want moksha, there is a Sanskrit word for these people, they are called mumukshu. Mumukshutva is mokshasya ichcha. Mokshasya ichcha. So anybody who has the desire for liberation is called, the desire for liberation is called mumukshutva. And anybody who has got mumukshutva is called mumukshu. So mumukshu, one who desires liberation from what? This ignorance or the sansara, this transmigratory cycle of punarapi maranam, bhaja govindam, punarapi jananam. You see, some Sanskrit hymns can be very wonderful. They remind us of this thing. Punarapi janani jatare. Jatare means womb. In the womb of My mother, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam, causing the problem to that lady also, to myself also, with all that fluid and all that, so much of nasty things, staying there for 9 months. And if you are not able to stay for 9 months, premature baby is still further problem. And if you are over mature, also problem, always problem. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam. You are lying down there in the womb of mother. So to come away from that is called, the desire is called liberation, moksha. Now people who have this, they have a dispassion, or at least they are supposed to have a dispassion. If you really have a desire for moksha, you will not be eating rasagullas. You will be eating maybe 1 or 2, but not like going on firing. So you have a dispassion towards the sense objects. What is told in the Upanishad, in this very Upanishads? Paranchi Kani Vyatrinat Swayambhu. Our sense objects have been destroyed. They have a manufacturing defect. What is the manufacturing defect? Always you see outside. You cannot see inside. For that you need a doctor. He will cut and see inside, or use laparoscopic surgery. Insert camera and see what is inside. So you need somebody else to see inside, because if you close your eyes, you will fall asleep. So Paranchi Khani Vyatrinat Swayambhu, it has been killed. Parang Pashyati na Antaratman. You are always seeing only outside, not inside. Kaschid Dhiraha. But some people who are patient, who are steadfast, who hold on, who have this, Indians fail there. They can do everything. Recently in one magazine there was a full-length article about Jugad. How many of you know Jugad? We are good at Jugad. Managing. Networking, it can mean so many things. Jugad. So Jugad, we are got reverse engineering, we have got Jugad. If you go to Haryana, Punjab or Uttar Pradesh, you will see a wonderful vehicle which is called Jugad. Why is it called Jugad? Because in Hindi, Jugad means Jugad karna, to collect things. So that vehicle can be made in a matter of 15 minutes. It can be produced. How? What they do is they take that pump set. Pump set is there, which is used for irrigation. That is the engine of that vehicle. Tractor tires are the tires. And then the steering of tractor, that steering wheel is the steering wheel. Bus, ready. And you have to put one trailer, that's all. Jugad, the ultimate driving experience. So it has no red headlight, no tail light, and no license plate. And if Jugad is coming in the road, just pray to all the gods you know. Because suddenly you may have a head-on collision. Because generally they come on the opposite side. The Jugad. So we are good for Jugad. So he says that you see, don't do this Jugad thing. You should have dispassion towards all sense objects. You should have dispassion. You should not be carried away. Paranchi. So some people who do not have this Jugad sense, Dhiraha, who have this patience, we have wonderful knowledge, Indian brain is wonderful, but we don't have patience. We do an experiment 2 times, 3 times, no results, okay, leave this experiment, do some other experiment, or something which can be done quickly, manage it. So, Jugad. So, Kashchid Dhiraha Amritatvam Icchan, they desire immortality. Avritta Chakshuhu Amritatvam Icchan. Kashchid Dhiraha, they desire immortality and they Avritta Chakshuhu. What do? They turn their eyes or their sense organs inwards. They start contemplating, they start meditating. So that is what is done, and they start approaching this knowledge of Brahman. That is why it is called Upa, coming near. And they devote themselves with one-pointed determination. And then, why Shankaracharya says, why this word Upanishad means knowledge? Because Upa, these people come near. Avritta chakshuhu. They come near, closer to themselves or closer to the Guru. And then they continue their spiritual